I can do it.
All right.
Because they're not quiet there. FYI.
You know, we could have ran it. Right, we could have been done in a minute. They would have never known.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would have went over.
I thought that would be
The
fine.
lead balloon.
I thought that would be fine. But you had to go and blabber.
Henry wouldn't have let me get away with that.
I
You
would
know
not.
that.
Nope.
I thought he wasn't in charge. I thought you were. I'm confused.
Little baby.
Never,
No,
never,
Henry's in charge.
never assume something like that.
Look at now Andrew's getting nervous.
Never
A lot of
assume.
pressure.
Yeah.
He's in charge as soon as he says he's ready. Yeah?
Yep.
Caden, right?
Yep.
All right, Caden. We're going to get ready to rock here. I know it's 11 minutes after, which I apologize to the group for that. Caden, ready? All right, we're going to get started. This is Senate Subcommittee, or Study Bill 3086. This is Consumer Frauds, Unlawful Practices in Digital Finance Asset Transaction Kiosks. Okay. For those of you that have not done a subcommittee with me before, I'm pretty sure probably most of you had, the format will be like this. And by the way, I have a 12:30 meeting, so I'm going to try to do this timely if we can. What I'll do is go ahead and introduce the members, and then if there's any opening comments, we will take care of those. I'll do a description of the bill, and then we'll go around and talk to the folks in the room. After that, we'll recognize the folks that are online, and then we'll close out with ending comments, and we'll go from there. If you choose to speak, would you please identify yourself, your organization that you're with, and try to keep your comments timely if you could, please, so we can try to get to everyone before we get going. That'll be the basic format for today. Again, I'll start out with a description of the bill, and then I'll recognize the members. It'll be myself and Senator Sires and Senator Bennett. Senator Bennett is online, and I'm assured that everything is functioning properly today, so we shouldn't have any trouble with that. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the background first. And last year we passed Senate File 449. That bill placed restrictions on digital financial asset transaction kiosks. SSB 3086 does not change those underlying regulations. Rather, it changes the way the AG's office enforces those regulations by making it unlawful practice under Iowa Code Section 714.16, which is consumer frauds. This bill strikes the enforcement and civil penalty provisions that were passed in last year's Senate File 449. Those provisions allowed the AG's office to bring civil actions seeking injunctions and civil penalties to enforce compliance. Instead, this bill moves the authority to enforce compliance with Iowa Code Section 533C.1104 into Code Section 714.16, which again is consumer frauds, by making a violation of those regulations contained in the previous section mentioned 553C, an unlawful practice under 714. The bill also provides that notwithstanding the $40,000 limit contained within 714.16, subsection 7, subsection B, for civil penalties, a violation of an injunction issued for digital financial asset transaction kiosks. And then additionally, lastly, the bill strikes the limitation that currently exists regarding the treatment of a course of conduct affecting more than one person. There are some other nuances which I'm sure will come up today, but those are the basic essence of the bill. Again, I'm Senator McClintock, and to my left, I have no opening comments. I will reserve mine till the end. To my left is Senator Sires. Do you have any opening comments?
My only opening comment is it was pushed forward by the AG. Seems kind of realistic that you could multiply your offenses. Each fraud should be kind of treated separately. So that's all I have on that.
Thank you, Senator Sires. Online is Senator Bennett, and I will hear any opening comments from her.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any opening comments. Just hope to learn a little bit more about the bill, but generally I think this is going in the right direction.
Very good. Thank you, Senator Bennett. All right. We're through the opening comments. We will go ahead and we'll start here and then work our way around. Any comments, sir?
Thank you very much, Senator, and thank you, Senator, the subcommittee for bringing this bill. I'm Dan Breitbarth with the Attorney General's office. We're registered in support of this language. This language is important because it gives our office the ability to go after some of these unlawful kiosks in a much more timely manner than we had earlier anticipated. The language we passed last year allowed us to prioritize legal action against some of these bad actors, but it doesn't allow us to really effectively find peace and resolution for some of the victims as timely as we could. Some of this language change would move our prosecution of these bad actors into the Consumer Fraud Act, which would give us the ability to subpoena and use other legal means to exploit some of the things that have been going on and make sure that islands are protected. In addition, the second piece of this, as to the civil penalties, gives us the ability to argue in front of a judge what is an appropriate fine for bad actions, as opposed to having a cap in the language. This doesn't give us, unilateral power to choose our fines, set our fines, and require fines. A judge would still have to approve and confirm that they're proper and appropriate given the nature of the crime. But it would give us, again, another tool to ensure that islands are getting what they deserve for the crimes that were committed against them. So thank you very much for bringing the bill, and we're supportive of the language.
Thank you. We appreciate having a representative from the AG's office as well. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Brad Harkoff with the Iowa Association of Business and Industry. We have all types of employers who are part of our association. We had some members raise some questions regarding Section 3, the enhanced penalty provision. We want to ask the subcommittee, is the intent of the bill to target all of industry, not just these kiosks with these enhanced penalties? Or is it just specifically trying to go after the kiosks, but may unintentionally bring in all of industry? That is the concern that we have. If this language brings in all of industry, we have concerns given the great nature of the penalty expansion here.
Obviously, the intent started out with the kiosks as specified, but there would be some inclusion in there if necessary. If that's a concern, is that something that you would like looked at closely?
Yes, we would. We would prefer that it does not bring in all of industry. Again, some members have flagged that for us, and so that is our primary concern with the bill before us.
Yeah, definitely within that scope, we'll take a look at that. I figured that might come up today. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Senator. Lon Anderson, Iowa Credit Union League. We're registered on the side of the bill. We share some of ABI's concerns about scope.
Okay. Yeah, the kiosk I think was under T, but in the previous ones you were looking at that concern. Okay, very good.
Jones with AARP, registered in support of this bill. We worked on it last year. Really glad that we got through the bill last year, made it into law, but happy to see that there was some additional enforcement penalties being considered. Obviously, appreciate the AG's consideration of how you make sure that bad actors are held accountable. So appreciate you bringing this forward for conversation and happy to support the bill.
Tony Phillips with the Iowa State Sheriffs and Deputies Association. We are registered in favor of the bill. We thank this body for the work they did last year to address this. I have heard from many different sheriffs in many different counties concerning situations that have arisen with these kiosks. So we appreciate the attention you brought to this and working to make sure that there's enforcement. We're happy to support this bill, and it's going to give better tools to make sure that the work last year has the intended effect.
Thank you.
Yep, Jacob Schrader with the Technology Association of Iowa. I'll just repeat the point made by Brad and Amy and I, that our members had similar questions about the drafting intent, about if that last section is meant to apply as broadly as it could be drafted, which would be all consumer protection.
Hey, Jordy.
Kiosk ones. So that's our comments, and just echo that question.
Hi, Haley Ledford with the Iowa Bankers Association. We are registered as undecided, but we are generally supportive of the bill. Some of the concerns have been brought up, particularly with scope, but we're happy to continue the conversation since it pertains to fraud prevention and consumer protection.
Thank you.
Clara Wilson with CoinFlip and Cryptocurrency Kiosk Company, and we are registered in opposition to the bill, really for the same reasons that we've heard here today. So Section 3 removes one sentence, and that sentence currently constrains UDAP violations, which are unfair and deceptive practices, in the state of Iowa individuals are affected by one action means each of those individual instances are now penalized as a $40,000 separate instance, taking it from $40,000 to basically an unlimited infinity cap. And once again, want to stress that this is, the Section 3 is under the Consumer Protection Statute in general, which applies to everyone doing business. So our concern is that it includes in the scope a wide variety of businesses and not just the cryptocurrency kiosk specifically. We're not necessarily opposed to the enforcement mechanism being moved into that chapter, but have concerns about the cap and would respectfully request an amendment that since this statute specifically is in issue in a current ongoing lawsuit, that this bill only applies to actions initiated on or after the effective date of this act to make sure we are not retroactively scooping in any lawsuits that are happening. So would urge a no vote on the bill, but at the very least respectfully request an amendment if you would like to see it move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Doug Strike here on behalf of two clients. We also represent CoinFlip. Would reiterate everything that Ms. Wolfson has stated. Also would add to that we should be talking about equity here. How we're going to treat all businesses in the state under the Consumer Fraud Act is how we should be treating all businesses under the state and not picking and choosing how those handle. She's laid out the concerns with Section 3. We read that as being universally applicable to any violations of the chapter. It is not specific to just the Bitcoin kiosks. We also represent the Iowa Cable Telecommunications Association. They're registered as undecided on the bill. They have identified that as well in the last section as they read it as applying to them and don't believe that was the intent of the legislature or the drafters in doing that, but would like to see that clarified as well. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Cody Goodall with the Department of Insurance and Financial Services. We're registered undecided on the bill. 533C is a banking division chapter. I have Finance Bureau Chief Craig Christensen here as well. We're just listening in. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments present, then I'll move to online if you would assist me there. Any hands up there? Would like to speak online? Seeing no hands for online comment, that completes the comment portion of the subcommittee. We will move forward with closing comments then. We'll start with Senator Bennett online. Closing comments.
I would be happy to support the legislation. I'll be in shortly and happy to sign.
Very good. Thank you, Senator Bennett. Then we'll move to Senator Sires for closing comments.
This is a study bill sent by the AG. If we look into the collateral damage, I think that's kind of important because I do believe that it was targeted against frauds for your kiosk machines. So I'll be signing on as well.
Okay, very good. For my closing comments on SSB 3086, I just want to say I appreciate all the input today. Obviously, we have a variety of support, non-support, and undecided right now. I think some valid questions have been brought up here. I'll be supporting the bill to move it forward. Obviously, the votes are there to do it either way, but I mean, I will be in support of the bill. I think it's important to note that there wasn't a large consensus here that anyone was against the intent to move it into the new section. It sounds like the scope is the biggest issue. I don't want to say that the bill may not be amended in committee or on the floor or something like that. I don't want to give that impression by moving it forward today. I just want to say that I think that we're in agreement that moving it forward is a good thing, and that moving it under that section seems to be a reasonable continuation of the bill that we moved last year. But there may be some areas here that we need to collect some additional input and potentially do something else with. So that being said, I will go ahead and mark the bill to be moved forward. And it sounds like we have some more discussions that we need to follow up on. So I do want to thank everyone for being here today, and that completes this subcommittee. Thank you.